Okay. All right, we're ready.
You know what time it is?
Boom shakalaka!
All
Yes, indeed. You are here. It's a great day. We're sitting on top of Waterloo Fire Department
Are we
station, I
now?
think.
Really?
So isn't that pretty awesome?
That's a great view.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Boom Shakalaka, the greatest show on the internet.
That's right. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different.
Right, I don't know how we got to be number one, but we are.
All right.
Yes, and welcome. We're going to have a great show today, Shaviva.
We want to shout out to our special
Yeah.
frequent viewers. Okay.
Yes.
Cressida Young, Robert Tyson, Crystal Woods, Mark Olson.
Janet Zilk, Dan Huff, Wilma Lillis, and Patricia Harris.
All right.
Shout out to Sherman Wise and Ty Smith, the king and queen of the sneaker ball. Purvis Williams, you did that.
Yes, you did. If you
Ooh.
had a chance to see some of the photos that are on Facebook, that was really quite an event. I'm sorry I missed it now.
I know it, I
Yeah.
know it. We want to make sure you stay tuned because in just a minute we're going to have the best guests today. We have Greg Ferguson and Mike Fristo, who were two of Waterloo's first firefighters that are African American.
Yes.
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 And they're paramedics.
Yes.
And I think Greg was the first lieutenant in Iowa. So, yes. And Greg's not pictured there, but that's Randy Fox. He stood us up. He's probably at home watching and babysitting. But
Okay.
stay tuned. We're going to have a great show.
All right. Be sure to stay with us for Give It Air. We're going to be talking about the Crown Act of 2022.
Yes.
Yes, and our talking point.
Is going to be when life shuts the door. We're going to ask what these fellas think about this. When life shuts the door, what do? We say open it because it's a door, and that's what doors do.
That's what they're for. Yep.
So we'll talk about that because life sometimes does shut a door.
And we are approaching 6
years
years.
of positivity from a North End perspective. What do you want to say about that?
What I want you to do, y'all, is
Yay.
be sure to keep the date April 7th in mind because at that time we're going to, what do you call it? Pitch a wang dang do.
Okay, yes, and save the date because there's more to come. We're just going to have a great thing. It's going to be at the Waterloo Center for the Arts. It's going to be called The Taste of the North End. Mary Louise, first base. We got all kinds of plans coming up, so make sure you stay tuned. It's going to be an awards banquet. It's going to be off the chain. All right. Call your mom and them about that one.
Okay.
Okay. Breaking news, Shaviva.
Okay. American Legion Becker Chapman Post 138 at 728 Commercial Street has got a fish and roasted chicken fry every Friday, 4:30 to 7:30 through April 7th, okay? The cost is $15 for all you can eat. That sounds like a good deal to me.
That's a good deal, and that fish is really good, fried crispy. Yeah, and he's going to come on our show, I think, in March.
Okay.
So you get to find out more about that. Newsflash, birthday people. Mike Fristo has the best singing voice, and Greg can't sing, I don't think. But we're going to see if they're up for it.
See, all they got to do is do what we do. If you can't sing good, you sing loud.
Yes, and you know
That's how
the
that
tune.
goes.
You know the tune.
There you go.
All right. I think we're going to introduce our guests right now because
Yes.
it's just about that time and we got to ask them the trick questions.
That's
That we
right.
like to ask.
Right.
All right. Wide shot, please.
Yep. And
Ed,
here are
thank
our
you.
guests.
Here they are. Thank you for joining us, Greg Ferguson.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Good.
Okay, and thank you, Mike Fristo, for joining us today and talking about you all's history with the fire department.
Thank you for having me.
You bet, you bet. So we're going to talk first to you guys about, we're going to kind of break the ice, kind of loosen up a little bit and talk to you about our talking point, which is brought to you by the Grout Museum District. And there's a great Veterans Museum there. Have you guys been to the Grout, either of you? Or?
I've been there.
Yeah. Well, they've sponsored our show because they believe in us, the Community Foundation. So we like to dedicate this to them. What's our talking point, Shaviva?
Our talking point is when life shuts a door, open it. It's a door. That's what they're for.
Yes. So just a broad point, because some people need to hear that, because some people are going through some things right now. And I think we've all, especially us seasoned women, I'll say seasoned people.
Yes.
We've
I
all
like
been
that.
through a few things. So what do you do when approaching obstacles, or how do you handle things that don't actually go the way you planned?
Oh, I just regroup, kind of go back, think about the things I did to get to that point, and there's some things I need to change. Ask. Don't never be afraid to ask. And then come at it again.
Go at it
Go
again.
at it again.
It's not how many times you get knocked down, but it's how many times you
Get
up, right?
That's right.
How about you, Mike? You have anything to say on that point about closing? Sometimes doors are closed. A lot of people will say when a door closes, God will open a window. But we're suggesting that try the door first, because that's what doors do. You know, you can open them and shut
We'll
them.
go through the door than the window.
Right.
I kind of like to feel like I like to keep options.
Okay.
I don't like to get stuck on one. I like to have a few different ways I can approach something.
Good, good. So you got a door and some windows.
Hopefully. Not all the time, but hopefully.
Hopefully there, and speaking of being a firefighter, I'm sure you can relate to a way out. You got to have a door or a window.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you guys for entertaining us with that. Okay, and our Give It Air is brought to you by Community Foundation of Northeast Iowa. So on our show, you guys, I don't know if you've watched, but we like to give air to some things that people don't really talk about a lot. Right. Sometimes it's race relations during this tumultuous time. So.
Yep. Sometimes it's things that just usually don't get a lot of exposure, and so we just throw it out there for people to know a little bit about, like this Crown Act.
Yes, have you guys heard about the Crown Act?
I have not.
No,
Okay, this
I haven't
has
either.
to do with Black History Month, and we're kind of wrapping our month up with this for our Give It Air. Shaviva, tell us more.
The Crown Act, or Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair, is a bill in the United States Congress that was intended to stop discrimination based on hairstyles and hair texture by making it known that such discrimination is illegal under the existing federal law. Now, the Crown Act unfortunately did not pass in the Senate, okay, but it may be reintroduced this year. But so far, 17 states have adopted Crown Acts, so that's not an issue. You know?
Right.
It shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be.
Your natural hair should not be an issue.
Right, your hair shouldn't even be a conversation, especially as African Americans have always had the hairstyles that are different according to the Western world, or maybe to white people. So, and we were going to talk to Randy about his great big afro, and you guys had more hair back in the day too.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
So, were there any kind of things, were there special rules about wearing your hair longer, or?
Well, it's paramilitary how we wore our hair. I mean, it's just like mustache. Your hair had to be kept to a certain length. Mustache to the corners of your mouth, trim. So no, you never really saw the big, because the one you have to be able to fit your helmet on.
Sure.
You know, you can't have any problems with that, or it's all about safety.
Yeah.
Everything was about safety.
So you didn't
so-
find any
That
ethnic.
makes sense as far as about a safety issue, yeah.
But this is, I think, more towards women or people that wear dreadlocks, maybe, or cornrows. You know, like in Office Place, that was unheard of. We couldn't even. I think people frowned on it back in the 70s.
Oh, definitely.
Afros, you know.
Definitely.
So some people, even black people, would be like, no, that's because it was going back and it was something really different, I think, for us at the time. So.
I got a funny story about one of my Chicago friends who had dreadlocks. He worked for CTA, Chicago Transit Authority, and his boss came to him and told him, well, you know, you can't wear your hair like that because yada, yada, yada. If you're going to have long hair, you have to have a ponytail. So he was like,
Okay.
oh, okay. So he came back the next day with a blonde, long wig pulled into a ponytail.
Oh,
His boss left him alone because some of his coworkers,
Had
some of his
long
white,
hair.
yep, some of his white
White
coworkers
coworkers.
had long blonde hair and ponytails. So he just did the same thing. He got off his back and left him alone.
oh my goodness, how funny. Well, there you go. Well, we're thankful for the Crown Act that was just passed in 2022. Can you believe that? You know, some of these things, you guys being
And
the
still
first
not
firefighters,
federal. Still not federal.
and still
just
not
state.
federal. So, you know, we got a long ways to
Just gotta
go.
keep, like you said, you gotta keep knocking on that door.
Yes,
Yeah.
knock the door down. Hope it's locked on the inside. So you
Okay.
can turn it.
All right.
Okay, let's move along. We want to talk to our guests. Who you want to talk to first, Shaviva?
Well, I'm gonna talk to Mr. Mike right
Let's
now.
holler at Mike.
Okay.
Put
yes.
him on the spot. I
When
bet you
did-
he don't know about the Soul Town, but that's okay.
Okay, that's all right. We can talk about the Soul Town another
Later.
time. Soul Town. We mentioned the Soul Town.
Right.
Okay. When did you first join the fire department?
November 5 of 1979.
Okay. That long. Okay.
79? Okay, how about you, Greg?
Be February 13th, 1978.
Okay, so you.
He
I
jumped
know-
a gun on me.
He jumped the gun. And you know, that's something else I wanted to say. Not only were you working together for so many years, but you guys have developed quite a friendship. You
Right.
outside of work as well.
Yeah, we met on the fire department, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it that attracted you to this line of work? Was it just a matter of availability, or you were specifically attracted to? I mean, some people are suited to certain
I would say just chance.
chance.
By chance, at the time, I was actually looking for work. And I had work. I mean, I worked a lot on my own, doing construction, but I thought, I want to get back into the job market, so I started looking.
Oh.
And I was downtown Waterloo, and believe it or not, I actually seen the fire station, and I walked over to it.
You just walked
Just
over there
walked
and said,
over there and
hey,
asked them,
looking
could I
for
get
a-"
an application?
Okay.
And I filled an application out right in the kitchen, and they sent me a letter back, and took the test. The
Cool.
rest is history.
Now, where did you come? You're new. You're not new to our community anymore. But what made you relocate in Waterloo? And second part of that question, tell us what you like about our community.
Well, actually, I had a job that brought me to Cedar Falls, Waterloo. I was a sales rep for a cigarette company,
Oh, great.
of all things. But at any rate, I quit that and didn't get along with my supervisor. He was different. But
Okay.
at any rate, from there to doing construction and then fire department. So the thing I like about the community is the cost of living seems to be reasonable.
Good point. Good point. What do you like?
What,
Go ahead.
I was going to ask Greg, what about you? I mean, as far as what is it that attracted you to want to work with the fire department, or was it just availability, something you
It
had?
was something that when I was in school I had thought about, just something, and it was really not just fire department, police. The police also was something that was I thought about. I just liked the public serving. I liked the stability of those jobs, and you're out there, you know, you're helping the community, you're working with the community, and I always liked the people person I've always been, and I thought it would be a good fit for me.
Right. Agnes, that's Randy Fox. He's absent today. I don't know if you have a picture of Greg, but I think it was on our timeline. But anyway, yeah, that's Randy Fox again. I guess I thought you pulled up the ad on our page with Greg on it, but sorry about that, Agnes. I forgot to send 3 pictures. Anyway, so you like the availability, the public service part. What was one of your highlights of working? Do you remember special times that really stand out in your mind of what made you happy to be a firefighter?
Oh, I think we all have that. Firefighters delivering a baby.
Oh, did you get to deliver a baby?
Yes.
Oh,
That stands out a lot. One of the few times when you perform CPR, that's something that you oftentimes don't have a good ending, and I did. In fact, she came in the fire station and thanked me
Wow.
And that's when I've always remember someone that survived and came all the way back, came down to the station and thanked me for what I'd done and those kind of things. There's others, but those stand out.
Now, I know that you guys are both paramedics, and you were a lieutenant for the fire department, and I think
Correct.
one of the first black lieutenant in Iowa. Is that right?
I'm not sure about Iowa and this on the far as Waterloo Fire. Yeah.
Okay. I know that had to be kind of different going into a workplace, you know, and being a trendsetter, because the other guys are going to you're going to mentor them as they come on.
Yeah, I think you always want to strive to be better, and that's all. That was just a part. It was a step that I was fortunate enough to have this testing that you're always doing in the fire department, and I was fortunate enough to score high enough, and I always had the interest to lead, and it came full circle, and I took a hold of it and did the best I could, and ended up having a pretty good career.
Well, I know there's a lot of people in Waterloo that are quite proud of that fact.
Looks like we have some comments.
Yes.
Lori Dale says, boom shakalaka, y'all.
Hey,
Lori.
Chakalaka LD.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. If you guys have any questions for these firefighters, just chime in. Yes, Kayla.
Also, Shannon, the therapist, says, thank you for your service.
That's
It was
right.
cool growing up
Welcome.
knowing a firefighter.
Okay, great,
All
great.
right.
Thank you.
Mike, talk about some of the challenges that went along with having this type of profession.
Surprisingly, you would think as a paramedic that you present yourself as trying to provide health care to everybody, but there was times that I actually was refused entry to places
Oh, my.
because of who I was. So that was probably one of the biggest challenges I think I ran into on the fire department, because I was a paramedic for 17 years.
While on duty?
Yes.
With your uniform on?
With my uniform, badge, ambulance parked out in the driveway.
Oh, well, yeah, some people
Wow.
just don't believe in that. Black firefighters. You've seen things like that. Well,
Yeah.
I think we've all run into things like that as African Americans. Sometimes, there's people that just don't want you around. I remember using the phone somewhere in Washburn, was stranded in a car, and the guy looked at me real close, and he's like, I think you better leave, So, there are things like that you run into. So that was a challenge, I suppose,
Yes.
for you. Yeah.
Okay. What did you think was rewarding?
Pretty much like Greg did. I had an occasion to work on someone who had had a heart attack, and I worked for a hospital ambulance service too, and I ended up taking them to a nursing home. And she never opened her eyes while we were doing CPR on her or performing our duties as paramedics, but she remembered my voice.
Wow.
Aw.
And I thought that was unique, because I remember never seeing her eyes open and how she remembered my voice. And I thought,
Wow.
she actually told me, she said, you were the paramedic that saved me.
Oh, wow.
I'm like sitting right in the back of the ambulance with her.
How rewarding is
Yes.
that? Yeah. So it is a fulfilling job. And now that
Very.
you guys are both retired, how long have you been done with Waterloo Fire?
20 plus years.
Yes, same here.
Who we?
Okay, well, you've aged well. You've aged
Yes.
well. I can't say who we too long, I'm the same.
And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that my husband, Jeffrey Ferguson, was
Yes.
also a firefighter paramedic, along with Gregory, his brother,
Yes.
and Mike, his friend. So,
She had a picture of him up there. Yeah.
And Greg,
Did they?
Jeffrey is actually going to come on. He's actually a retired, or he was a firefighter, retired school teacher, and now he's teaching and doing what he loves. He's going to come talk to us about that soon.
okay.
Yeah, so he's kind of been doing a lot of stuff all his life, so that's great. Jack of all trades.
Now, is there any advice that either of you would give a young person thinking about getting into, becoming a firefighter?
I would encourage it 100%. It's a great career. Like I said, you're helping. It's especially if you're a person, you're a people person, and you're a person that likes physical because it is,
Yeah.
you know, it can be real challenging. So, and you have to be kind of a athletic type personality, I'd say, to want to go in that career. And the stability I've always loved, you know, of the fire department. Very little turnover you find in that career, and he said it's very rewarding. You know, he said when you see people, they always greet you, friendly. They usually, like I said, I used to do a lot of career days. They go into schools, and I have now they're grown now. Come up to me and
Sure.
tell me about how they remembered when I would come to the school, and it's just it's a rewarding field to be in. So
How about
I,
you, Mike?
I would encourage anyone.
I think the fire department actually opened up doors for myself. Other employment opportunities,
Sure.
exposure to, I got to do a lot of teaching, which I
Wow.
enjoyed. Didn't realize I would be doing that.
Yeah.
It just kind of opened that door, like you were saying, that kind of opened up some doors for me that I found rather challenging and unique.
Right. And so the people that we're talking to about maybe joining you, what age groups would you say would be the best to get influxed into the fire department? 20 to, I mean, because you don't want to be aging, being a paramedic, you know, saving people in ditches with heart attacks when you're 60.
No, but you can't. Age discrimination is a no-no.
Okay, age, well, so
I mean, if you feel that's something you want to do and try, I mean, there have to be more reason other than your age to say no. I would
Okay.
think, you know, but it is, you know, it's like I said, it's very challenging, and you have to be very well conditioned, you know, you're firefighting, the equipment you're carrying and wearing, the heat you're dealing with, the smoke, you know, it's a physical job, so you need to consider that if you're going to apply for that job.
now I've seen a video, I think Sonia Bach did a video with you guys and I watched it, and I think you talked about some scary times. Can you think of any frightening times in a fire that you can remember? Or I think Randy was the one sharing, but the Sherwood fire.
You don't want me to go there. Yeah,
We
yeah.
won't go there.
Yeah, well, no, there's just been moments where I think anyone had a career in that job where you were you know, afraid, concerned, you know, some real bad fires, especially as Waterloo's got a lot of older homes, and I remember one in particular I was in that was so hot, you know, and you don't see, you know, you got to keep your hands on the fire hose at all times because that's your only way to get out. If you need to get out, you have to turn and follow the hose back out. And there's situations that, you know, but you train.
Right,
You know,
that
you
training
train for it.
is
You train.
important.
It comes in. Yeah, it's very important.
Wow.
Yes. Mike, talk a little bit about the test. What do you remember about the fire department test?
I think it had some engineering questions, math, comprehension type questions where you have to comprehend what's being presented to you. I'm trying to remember if they had anything on any first aid or things of that nature, but
Quite physical, though.
I think most of it was more math, reading.
How about the agility test? What sort
Yes.
of things does a person have to do with that to pass
As
that?
Greg said, I think you need to be in shape. We did running. There was calisthenics you had to do, push-ups, set-ups.
Timed it. You know,
It was
all
timed.
everything's timed.
Yeah.
Because you're competing.
Right, right.
Lifting,
You are competing for a job.
Wow.
Things related to the job functions. So
Now, I think there are female firefighters now, and also there's a brother-sister team, I think, African-American. We
The
had
Agbases family.
the
yeah.
Agbases, yeah. So I think that it's great that that we have more African Americans interested in the public service field. I don't know how the police department is doing, but our Waterloo Fire is kind of, you know, being more integrated and more inclusive, and I'm sure there are other cultures represented as well. So we just wanted to applaud you guys for being the first and paving the way for so many Waterloo people. And Jimmy Russell, did you see his comment? A lot of people, wanted to read the comments
Right.
that they said.
Some of the trailblazers you guys have been. Yeah.
Definitely. And
Appreciate that.
Yes, definitely want to thank you for your service. In closing, what do you guys have for hobbies? Do you have a hobby that you like to do now that you're retired?
Yeah, go back to work, drive a truck.
Oh, a truck hobby, huh?
Yeah,
You like
truck
the big
driving.
trucks?
That's my I
That's
love the
about
big
the
trucks,
truth,
yeah.
too.
Okay. How about you, Mike?
I drive city bus for City of Waterloo.
Oh, you like big buses. I like big
know.
buses. I can't
My hobby is stay busy. That's the hobby, stay busy.
Yeah.
All
I will
right.
say
like
something
that.
funny about that retirement.
I'm
It's
telling
okay
you.
for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
then you got to do
I
something
gotta
to
do
stay
something,
busy.
yeah. I like the routine of getting up and like I said, I like driving that big truck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. As long as you're enjoying it and you can stay healthy and active,
Yes.
why
Yeah.
not?
And I like home, I like yard, messing with my yard and that kind of stuff, and spoiling grandkids.
Okay,
yeah.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
And we co-grandparent, which is
Yeah.
great. You
Yes,
get
we
to
do.
see our our grandchildren, not greats yet, but
Not
I think you
yet.
got a few greats. But
Thank you.
Yes. But and Mike, I know that you are in carpentry.
Mhm.
And I also know you sing well.
No, I don't sing.
Yeah, you
no.
do. You
No, I
sing.
don't. No.
You got to
Singing
sing.
from?
It's the birthday time.
Oh,
We got the
yeah.
best RNC birthday people. RNC stands for
right.
Rocky and Shaviva.
That is
Seriously.
right.
And Caleb. Did you
That's
put
right.
Caleb's name in?
Hey, Caleb made sure he put his
Oh,
self
Caleb
in there,
put
okay?
himself in. Okay,
Yeah.
and this is Caleb. And can we get a shot of Caleb? We got to talk to Caleb way more. Caleb is over there working hard in the trenches, reading our comments and keeping our screens straight. There he is. Thank you,
Yeah.
Caleb, and happy birthday yesterday. He
Oh,
had a
happy
birthday
birthday.
yesterday. So that phenomenal woman was for you too.
And Greg just had a birthday too.
Oh yeah, he's on
Yeah.
here. We finna
Oh, okay.
sing to Ferg.
That's
Greg.
right.
He
Oh,
gonna
my.
sing to
Every
He gonna
week.
sing to himself.
Every single week.
Yeah, okay.
We have the best birthday people.
Who we
every
got,
time.
Shaviva?
All right.
Who?
Well, first of all, we got you.
Hey,
All
it's
right.
me.
And we have Caleb Bissell, who you saw just a second ago.
Yes.
And Preston Essex.
Yes.
Alisa Newell.
Okay.
Ebony Sherelle Wilder.
The best.
Bob Niemeyer.
Bob Niemeyer.
Anita Clark and
Gregory
Greg
Ferguson.
Yes.
Okay.
Who else we got?
Ty Smith,
All
the
right.
winner of the sneaker ball with
That's
Sherman.
right.
Yes, yes. Ashley Wortham, my cousin.
All
Phaedra Roby, and Jacob Lapman.
That's right, the
good
guitar
looking
man.
bass
Yeah.
player, yes. And Deborah Burks, our pastor.
Right.
And Robert Charles Perkins, who used to be Robert Charles Oliver, who is my cousin. Yes.
All right.
So we sing, and I want you to try to carry the bass. Or no, I want you to do tenor. Can you do tenor?
I'm better soprano.
Soprano?
There you
Okay,
go.
you got soprano. What you got? Bass?
I couldn't tell you.
Just try to hum along.
That's me. Whatever come out.
One thing, I always tell people you can't be worse than Pastor Rudy Jones. That is not a singing preacher. He can't sing.
Rudy gonna be waiting.
I know, I always
waiting
talk
for you.
about it. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sure you would agree
It couldn't fit more perfectly
than to have a world party.
on the day you came to be.
Happy
birthday to ya.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday to ya. Hey, happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Okay.
I hear Betty out there.
All right.
Okay, birthday people, thank you so much for joining
See,
us
that was
today.
pretty painless, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a
okay.
great show, very insightful. We want to tell you that as seasoned women, because we're kind of old, I know you can't tell.
Okay,
but
see,
we're-
seasoned, that's a nice
Okay,
way
seasoned
to... Yeah, there you go.
Women, we've seen some things, and there are a few things we've learned.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned the hard way that it doesn't pay to get discouraged. Keeping busy and making optimism a way of life can restore your faith in yourself.
In yourself, absolutely.
Lucille Ball.
Mhm.
Okay, makes sense to me.
Yep, and I've learned to focus on the things you can control and don't even pay attention to the things that you can't.
That's right,
There you go.
Shaviva. You got to just have the things that can't talk to the hand.
There you go.
All right, until next week, we want to encourage all of our viewers to try to do more stuff like these guys.
That's right.
That
like
makes you
Greg
awesome.
Ferguson and like Mike Fristo.
Because it makes
us
all
all
look
look
good. And remember, if it's Friday,
It's North End
End
Update.
Update.
Yeah.
See you next week.